Hello, everyone, and welcome to Losses Above Replacement, the best baseball podcast to grace your ears. I am your host, Alex Clark, joined today by our very own all-star snubs in Ryan Splash Potts and Mathias Altman Kurosaki. My main man, how are we doing on this Monday afternoon?
You know, I'm doing, I'd say. I enjoyed the London series. I'll say that much. I think it's cool that baseball is being played in Europe now. So yeah, it was good. I watched some of the NBA finals. Yeah, no, it was pretty humid this past week. I went to a Yankees Twins game the other day, by the way. I saw Aaron Judge drive in 5 runs. He did not hit a home run, but he drove in 5 runs. I saw Royce Lewis hit a home run. So, yeah, that was fun, and yeah, we're doing it.
I've been sick basically the entire time since we recorded our last podcast, so that's not been fun.
I feel that. I am now in Colorado.
Are you a giraffe?
I'm a giraffe.
Thank you.
I thank you for making that joke. But yeah, no. Since the last podcast, where again I wasn't on it, was because I was driving to Colorado because I was hired for them the night on Sunday night for their first game on Tuesday afternoon. So we rushed down there. It was good. I'm having an absolute blast. I am now the official voice of the Boulder Collegians. So that's fun, and we'll be talking about them a little bit more later on in the show. Hinted, wink, wink, not judge. But we're going to get started here today with our first topic here. We're getting closer and closer to trade season here, and one of the teams that's basically kind of out of it, they've put out a report talking about players that they are interested in trading. That would be the Chicago White Sox here, as they have already put out saying that they are listening to offers on Luis Robert Jr., as well as Garrett Crochet. Now, gentlemen, this is not surprising, at least to me. Like, I mean, we've seen how bad the White Sox are historically bad right now. If you aren't already, go follow Jay Kuda on Twitter. He posts some of the funniest, like, homemade graphics, and they're all just roasting on the White Sox, basically.
And he's a White Sox fan, by the way.
Exactly, yeah. So... but they're fun. So, like, at this point, right, I'm not surprised that they're wanting to trade off these guys, but at the same time, it feels so weird to have a guy, like, of the caliber that is Louis Bob being shopped this early. So, Joe, what is your take on this? Do you think we're going to see a trade earlier rather than later? Are we going to not see anything until the trade deadline? What is your guys' take on this?
So, as the resident Luis Robert fan, this is such a weird player to trade for. He has obvious flaws. You can go to the health, you can go to the plate discipline. But he also is one of the most talented players on the field. It's very Byron Buxton-y. He's also younger than Buxton, but he has a very, getting to be a very similar injury list to Buxton's. He's played over 100 games once. His only other healthy year besides the 145 games he played last season was the COVID year. He played 56 games and was a league average hitter. Like, the talent's there. He slugged .542 last season. That's great. He doesn't walk much, which is a problem, but he stole 20 bases. He hit 36 doubles, 38 home runs. Incredibly talented and just a gift in center field. A excellent defensive player. Was a Gold Glover his rookie season, arguably a Gold Glover last year if Kiermaier wasn't Jesus Christ himself. 5 WAR season last year. But the health is a concern. But if you're looking at it from the White Sox perspective, there was a report yesterday that they wanted to ask more than Juan Soto, or more than the Padres got in the Juan Soto deal.
Yeah.
And the gut reaction to that is absolutely not. And then you look at Luis Robert's page and you scroll down and you're like, okay, he bats right-handed, he's 6'2", team, born 1997. Wait a minute. He's older than Juan Soto. And at this point, your alarm bells are going off. How can a team claim this besides being like arrogant team? Well, he's under contract through next season. So he has a year and a half, same as, if Soto was dealt at the trade deadline, it would have been the same, but he was dealt in the offseason. So he has a year and a half. Soto only had a year left. And Robert has a 2-year team option. And next year, he's not on a $30 million arbitration deal like Soto was going to be. So he's on a reasonable contract through potentially 2027. So if you think he is worth that investment until 2027, then I could potentially see the avenue for him being worth more than Soto. Although I think the Yankees got a pretty good deal on that one anyways.
Yeah.
So this is incredibly tough to gauge because, like you were saying, Splash, I mean, we've seen how good he can be when he's on the field. 38 homers last year. He was in the home run derby, stole 20 bases. Strikeouts are definitely a concern. I mean, this year he's already struck out 21 times and only 50 plate appearances. That's the other thing, though. He only has 50 plate appearances this year. He got hurt again. I mean, Byron Buxton is literally the near identical player comp in the way that both incredibly talented, both kind of a 5-tool player when they're healthy, but when are they ever healthy? We finally saw what he could do when he was healthy last year, but that's once in 5 years. I think from the White Sox perspective, you're probably going to get a lot back. If you're trading for him, you're taking a huge risk. That being said, he's young. You have him for probably about 2 seasons, maybe more. So, I don't know what happens to your player option if he does get traded, but I think he does get dealt this year. I think the White Sox have to face the music. They're not competing this year. They're probably not competing next year. I don't even know if they could compete the year after that. So Robert probably going to get dealt. Garrett Crochet is a completely different story because he's younger. He's having an excellent year, and I think he's probably a building block for them. That being said, if they're given an irresistible offer for Crochet, maybe they do deal him. But I think Robert I feel like I'd give it like a 70-30 chance that he gets dealt this summer.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same wavelength there. I think that Louis Bob is probably going to get traded, but they're not going to get anywhere near the level of the Juan Soto level deal. And I think you're going to get a lot. No doubt, you're going to have to pay up to get Louis Bob. But in the comparison to him and Juan Soto, the biggest difference I see is in what the red flags are, right? For Juan Soto, the biggest red flag is, are you going to be able to re-sign him? That is the biggest issue when it comes to him. Yes, you could say some things about defense, blah, 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 blah. Those can be worked around. Health can't really be worked around. Health is something that if you have an injury, the more often you get injured, the more likely you are to get injured again. And that's the biggest problem we have right now, especially even with rehab, with all these kinds of things. It is still hard to stay on the field if you have that injury history. Look at Byron Buxton. As much as I want him to do good, just as much as everyone else does, because he has unbelievable talent, we're not seeing it because he's not there as much. And that's the big problem when it comes to Louis Bob, as well as the plate discipline. So those are 2 major red flags that one can be taught to work through. The plate discipline, that can be worked on. Health can't be. And so I don't think they're going to get anywhere near the amount that they thought they were that they think they're going to on the Soto thing. I think that's just them trying to set a precedent through a media release just to try and get some level of buzz going. But I do think he's going to get dealt. And the question then becomes where? Because you got to look at the top teams, and a lot of them need outfielders. There's a lot of teams that could really use another outfielder. And with his speed and defensive ability, he could play all 3 outfield positions. You'd obviously probably more than likely want him to be center, but you could also put him into right. You could put him into left, and you're going to be just fine. So it comes down to what teams are going to want to risk for that kind of player. And I think to answer that question, you have to look to the other issue that Louis Bob has, and that is the plate discipline. He strikes out. He has problems with it. So now you're looking at teams that like to stay away from the strikeout numbers. Those teams you could try to, I'm not going to say you're going to throw them out, obviously, but that becomes something that has to be considered at this point. Because originally when this was going on, I was like, oh yeah, Mariners should absolutely go for this. But at the same time, looking back at it, the entire plan of the offseason was to cut back on strikeouts. That's why they let Teogo. That's why they traded away Gino. So there's a bunch of teams I think that would be willing to make the risk, but it comes down to, are they willing to deal with the health? Are they willing to deal with the strikeouts? And do they have the farm system to make it happen?
So
I think there are only like a couple teams I think that could afford to trade for him. Heck, I don't even know how many teams could afford to trade for Crochet. Yeah. So, but I feel like the Mariners, if the Mariners do want to make a splash, though, I could see them making a deal for Robert. If they really want to make a splash, they have the prospect capital to do so.
I 100% agree with that.
I'm looking back at the Soto trade, and for Soto to go from the Padres to the Yankees, he went with Trent Grisham for Drew Thorpe, who's a top 50 prospect in the minors still. Johnny Brito,
just got called up,
who's like a reliever type. Kyle Higashioka, who's a backup catcher type. Michael King, who has been very hit or miss this season. He's had some electric outings. He was unbelievable against the Dodgers. He's also been lit on fire several times. And then Randy Vasquez, who's another reliever type. I know it's 5 players. 5 players. But
well, I was thinking more like what. So just to throw it out there, I was thinking more like, okay, maybe I misinterpreted it because I thought they were talking about like what the Nationals got for Soto.
Okay. I think they might get more than what the Padres got, but less than what the Nationals got.
I think so.
At least with the Nationals, they have CJ Abrams, who is their best position player, question mark? And
I
they
would
just
say so.
lit us on fire.
I agree with that.
Mackenzie Gore.
Lane Tomas.
Mackenzie Gore. So you have in theory, your ace, your shortstop of the future, James Wood and Robert Hassel are in the minors still. And they also got a major leaguer in Luke Voigt, although that didn't move the needle very much. And Yarlene Susana, who, if memory serves, he throws like 103 now. So great for him. That was a huge haul. I don't think they're going to match that. Also, Josh Bell went in that deal, and that was a good Josh Bell. So that's not a all Soto package. That was Soto and Bell. I could see the White Sox netting a little bit more than the Padres did, but I think the prospect capital, it would be more a prospect capital. It would be more along the lines of the Nationals trade than the Yankees trade, in that I don't think if you just replace Juan Soto and Luis Robert in that trade, and it say for whatever reason, Robert's on the Padres and the Padres trade him with the Yankees, I don't think the White Sox would have had any interest in Thorpe, Brito, Higashioka, King, Vasquez. Maybe King, maybe Thorpe. I think Brito, Higashioka, Vasquez were just kind of throw-ins. And the Padres were okay with it because the Padres are trying to win 90 games this season to make the playoffs to beat the Dodgers again. The White Sox stink. The White Sox farm system stinks. So if you're the White Sox and you're trying to trade, you want that you want that Wood package. You want the Wood Abrams Gore package. You want something similar to that. You don't want the ready-made major leaguers, right? So I'll use the Braves as an example. You wouldn't want AJ Smith-Shawver, who's made his MLB debut. You wouldn't want Hurston Waldrop, who made his MLB debut. Maybe one of them, but you wouldn't want a package centered around MLB caliber players yet. I think you'd want more of to use the Padres as an example, you'd want Ethan Salas, right? Who's 18 now, is still in AA. You'd want more like AA and AAA guys who can grow with your young players in the minor league system. Again, it's not a very good minor league system. So you're, like Max said earlier, you might be 2 or 3 years away from competing.
Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of at with this too, is that right now the White Sox have to do something with them. And I think it comes down to more like what you brought up. They don't have much in the major leagues, and they got nothing in the minor leagues. I mean, Colson Montgomery says hi. But at the same time, I feel like if you're the White Sox, you have to capitalize on this. You absolutely have to, because otherwise you're going to have a player that is helping a team not win. Oh, 2 players, I say, that's going to be helping a team not win, and nothing behind them. This, at least, you could get some capital for going forward. So, the other one I wanted to bring up on it. Oh, sorry, Flash, did you want to say something on that?
Yeah, Drew Thorpe is on the White Sox.
Oh, yeah, he was in the Cease trade. Dylan Cease. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I missed that. I forgot that. So
he's making his big league debut tomorrow.
Maybe they did want Drew Thorpe, but yeah, I think my point still stands that they were looking for. They're shopping in a different bin. So they have 4 players in the top 100. Colson Montgomery is number 10. Noah Schultz is number 39. Drew Thorpe is debuting soon, and Edgar Caro, I believe, is also from the Padres, right?
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because they made the
or was he
the Padres used
or
it
no, was he in the because he was signed by the Angels. Was he in the like the fire sale trades last year?
He may
Possible.
He may have been in the Giolito Lopez.
This is wonderful podcasting,
deal.
By the way.
Yeah,
we are doing absolutely fantastic right now.
Yeah, we should all get fired.
Yeah, probably. So let's fire off this topic here as we get ready for the next topic here, as something that's even closer than trade season is All-Star game season, as we're getting closer and closer to it being, I believe it's in Arlington this year.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that is a beautiful logo, by the way. Just
100%.
Beautiful logo.
Yeah, 100%. But there's people have been filling out their ballots. I've been filling out my ballots. Make sure you all go vote for Cal Raleigh, get the big dumper in the big game. But
incorrect.
No. Splash is fired for the podcast again. I think the total bring the tally up one more time. But there's a few positions that have some questionable ideas. And I'm not talking about that. It's like, why would you vote for this person? There's some people that you really could go either way on here for what is like kind of objectively the better player to go with. We picked out 3 position groups from American or National League, and we're going to talk about some of the bigger players within them. So let's start off here with third base in the American League, because, I mean, my God, look at the players that you have available to you to pick up this way. You got Rafi Devers, you've got Lewis, you have you have Jordan Westbrook, who has an 852 OPS, like
Isaac Paredes.
Thank you. Yeah, 855 OPS, J-Ram 890. Like, guys, what's your take on these third basemen here? Which one do you think deserves the most to go to the All-Star game as the best?
This is so. If you asked me, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, it probably would have been Jordan Westbrook, if I'm being completely honest. But over the last month, this is picking one of these guys is incredibly difficult. You know, Isaac Paredes probably makes it. I think, honestly, all 4 of these guys probably make it. But if I'm picking the best one overall, I have to go Jose Ramirez. This guy has been unreal since May 1st. He has a major league leading 62 RBIs. I know RBIs, whatever, yada, yada, yada. 18 homers, though, 10 steals. He has a 150 WRC+. He's hitting in the middle of a surprisingly strong Guardians lineup. 2.5 Fangraphs WAR is also best in the majors. And he's doing it despite only having a 249 batting average on balls in play. So if you want the whole package, if you're going just by offense, it's Devers. If you're going by the whole package, including defense and base running, it's Ramirez.
Yeah, this is a tough decision. Depending on which word you use, you can get a totally different outlook. So just baseball reference for Ramirez 2.7, Westbrook 2.5, Devers 1.8, Paredes 1.7. I've been leaning Paredes more, but you can't go wrong with anyone out of the group. They all have at least 12 doubles, at least 10 home runs already. Ramirez has 10 steals. Devers is hitting 284. Paredes is hitting 288. You know, 557 slug from Devers is impressive. You get plus defense generally from Ramirez and Westberg. And again, you can't go wrong with any of them. But I think I'm going to agree with Mac. I think Ramirez is the pick right now.
Yeah, Ramirez is who I was originally going to pick, and honestly, he deserves it too. Like we're talking about almost all the names that we're talking about here. But because I have a bet with Splash, Josh Rojas, no. So
honestly, we never figured out what the bet.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it.
I didn't know if we finalized that. Okay.
Oh yeah, we'll finalize it later then. But
solid 1 WAR for Josh Rojas, a 115 OPS plus. That's number is going down, down, down. Sorry, Josh Rojas. I don't want to root against you. I don't want to root against you, but I am rooting against Alex.
I understand that. 100%.
Must be a day that ends in Y.
I mean, yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, regardless, though, my pick is going to be Devers, though. I really like offense. offense is something that I really value. And when you're looking at offense in the third basic category, there isn't really too many that are better than him. In just like, I understand like the RBI stats and all that. When you have an OPS of 932, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Batting 284.
It's decent.
Yeah. So at this point, it's
Solid.
like, okay, well, a lot of times when we look at this, you have to look at defense and offense. A lot of times when you're just looking at the Bears stats, you're mostly going to see just offense here. And I understand that Devers is not great defensively. He's been okay, not great. But the bat more than makes up for it. I think my vote here goes to Devers.
I think that's
it's tough.
Pick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
like we were
like Max said,
saying,
I think all of them probably make it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Paredes, I mean, he had a case last year, I thought. Westberg obviously wasn't up until late in the season, but I think Westberg has done more than enough to get a spot. And Devers and Jose Ramirez, it feels like they're candidates every single year. But something about Ramirez's speed and slightly better defense, I think gives him an edge. But really, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on now to our catcher position here for this catcher in the American League. Also one where there's a lot of interesting names to work with. Adley Rutschman has been really skyrocketing up the All-Star Ballot tier list, shall we say, on this. Right now with an 834 OPS, but you've also got guys like Salvador Perez, whose batting average now is just below 300 with an 863 OPS here. And then you also got guys like Jeffers, who had an absolutely insane month of May. So, guys, tell me what you guys are kind of thinking on this one as well.
I do want to give the shout out to Connor Wong real quick.
Mm-hmm.
He's not my pick or anything, but
yeah.
Connor Wong's hitting 329 right now. His steals basis as a catcher is 3 steals, 136 OPS plus. So he's had a really solid season for Boston. He was always known as like a defense first guy, but this year he's been a bat first guy. So props to him.
He's also the last guy remaining from the Mookie Betts trade.
Good job, Boston. Cost us a World Series. Thanks, bozos.
Actually, it's Bo Sox, not Bozo.
Yeah. Okay, I'm cooked.
Yep. Stick the fork in you. You are cooked. Anyway, so I really want to say Cal Raleigh just for the memes, but at the same time, I can't on this one. Though, vote for Big Dumper here. He deserves it.
He has a 98 WRC plus, a 98 OPS plus. Elias Diaz has more WAR on Fangraphs. Fangraphs loves Cal Raleigh. And
Fangraphs likes his defense a lot, man. He has the best defensive number.
Here's the thing: is that he may have that 98 WRC plus, but he has a triple S star dumper, which means that he is the best player in baseball.
Okay, then Sean Murphy should be an all-star, and Sean Murphy has an OPS closer to 0 than 900.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Actually, if you carry it back through the All-Star game last season, it's still the same. It's like 500, which is disastrous.
Yikes.
But if I'm going to make a pick here, this one is honestly really tough because I really like what Jeffers has been doing. He has been absolutely on fire. Perez has been looking like the Perez of late. So Perez of earlier before. And then there's Rutschman. And I'm going to give it to anyone. This one's honestly tough. I think I'm going to go with Perez. I like Perez as a catcher, and I think that he has had himself one heck of a season so far. There's been all the talk about the Hall of Fame stuff. We've talked about it on the podcast before. But looking at this season, he has been exceptional.
So go ahead, Mac.
Go ahead, Splash.
I think I'm leaning Perez, but this is one in the case of the like the Judge conversation we had last week, that over the course of the season, I'll bet on Judge. Over the course of the season, I'll bet on Adley. So if I had to bet, I would say if the All-Star game was today, I think Salvi should be the starter. But the All-Star game is in a month. So I think Adley will be the starter by that point. Also, Ryan Jeffers could be in that conversation. He's had, slugging 500, 135 OPS plus, doesn't walk a whole lot. And yeah, I think Adley is the catcher you want the rest of the season, the next month. But if you have that conversation, then Cal Raleigh is probably a better catcher the rest of the season than Salvador Perez. So, Also,
Cavalli is just-
why do Jonah Heim and Yair Diaz stink for some reason?
That's weird.
Very
Yeah,
sad.
so that's the thing is that the guys that I expect, like, okay, so if you asked me, like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago probably, then I say, well, actually, let's go back. So at the beginning of May, it's probably Jeffers. If you asked me 3 weeks ago, it's probably Perez. But Perez is 3 for 25 this month.
Yeah.
And Ryan Jeffers is batting 189 since May 1st. And in fact, let's go back to June 1st. Jeffers was in a terrible slump to start the month. He went, he was 0 for 17 coming into June 9th. He's 2 for 22 this month. If I'm putting this all together, and I'm looking at Fangraphs, Adley Rutschman has a 139 WRC plus, same as Perez, but his defense is better. His Fangraphs WAR is 0.3 higher. It's 2.3 compared to 2.0. I got to go with Adley here. I know Rutschman just had a huge game where he hit 2 homers and drove in 6 runs, so maybe that's inflated because it's one game. But I think he's the only one who seems like he's staying the course with his production. Where I think Perez and Jeffers have both had good seasons, and I'm sure, over the course of the full season, we'll see decent numbers from guys like Raleigh and Langoliers and O'Hoppe. And, Yair Diaz is starting to heat up. But I think the best catcher right now, in the AL at least, is Rutschman. Mm-hmm. And I honestly see that gap growing throughout the season.
Agree.
All right. So with that, let's move on to our last of the 3 here, and that is going to be outfielders in the National League. And since there's 3 of us, and that you get 3 outfield picks, I think it is apropos if we each pick 1 to go for this. If that sounds fair to you guys?
Works for me.
All right.
Works for me.
Do you guys have any qualms if I go first on this one?
Jared Kelnick.
No.
DJ Stewart.
For me, honestly, this one's really easy for number 1, and it's a former Mariner here in this. And watching what he has done over the course of just even the last week has been absolutely insane. I am, of course, talking about Teoscar Hernandez. Teo has been on an absolute tear this season. If you take a look at RBIs from every National League outfielder currently eligible on the ballots, who's number 1? Teo. Take a look at the OPS. Who is one of the only ones that's actually above 800? Teo. Teoscar Hernandez has had himself an absolute amazing year. And he fully deserves it. I'm so glad to see him doing well. I know he's not on the Mariners anymore, but he's such a fun guy too. Looking at his bat, he has been absolutely on fire. As 16 home runs, 48 RBIs, a 266 average, and an OPS of 1 point under 850. That's all-star level. That is 100% all-star level.
Yeah, so if I'm picking one surefire candidate as of today, I can't believe I'm saying this. And shout out to my man Jolly Olive, who just made a video about this guy. It's Jurickson Profar. If you told me before the season, I understand it is only June 10th right now, but if you told me before the season that on June 10th, Jurickson Profar would have a 170 WRC plus and have the highest FWAR of any National League outfielder at 2.8, I would have just scoffed at it because while I think Profar has been good, especially in San Diego, I've never expected this level of production from him. And yes, he was the number 1 overall prospect back in 2012. That was 2012. That was a dozen years ago now. But this year he's coming into his own. Yes, I think there will be some regression. That 359 BABIP is kind of high, but 13% walk rate, only a 15% strikeout rate, a nice 420 on base percentage with a 404 weighted on base average and a 377 xWOBA. I think there's a strong possibility we're getting 2 of the 3 starting outfield spots going to the Padres. So
it's possible.
I think he's been probably the biggest surprise in at least the National League this year, because 100%. I certainly did not have this on my bingo card.
So I have been deciding between Christian Yelich and Fernando Tatis. think these are two valuable choices. Yelich,
Yep.
1.5 baseball reference score in 39 games. That's pretty good. He just hasn't played as much as Tatis. Tatis, 139 OPS plus, the stellar defense per usual. So I've decided in my grand quest, Yelich or Tatis, Yelich or Tatis, Yelich or Tatis. I'm going with Elliot Ramos of the San Francisco Giants.
There you go. I was waiting for it.
Dude, fantastic.
This guy's been absolutely bananas. He has 2.1 B WAR in 29 games, which is an even higher rate than Yelich has. A 175 OPS plus. And I'm not like entirely. Again, this is the Salvador Perez thing. I don't think he's necessarily going to keep it up, but as of right now, I want to reward 29 elite games because no one else besides Profar is playing anywhere close to that level. He's fifth among NL outfielders in FWAR, despite playing 10 fewer games than everyone ahead of him and 38 fewer games than everyone ahead of him besides Christian Yelich. The only his next comps are Blake Perkins, who's an average hitter with good defense, Brent Doyle, who's an average hitter with good defense and great base running, Brandon Nimmo, who is a better than average hitter with good base running and okay defense in the left, Mike Tauchman, Jazz Chisholm, Brandon Marsh. Ronald Acuna is still tied for 12th, by the way. He is not on the ballot, sadly, but he would be a better pick than a lot of NL outfielders. But I think the Profar, Teoscar, and Elliot Ramos outfield works. I think Yelich and Tatis should make it. Tatis, I hope Tatis makes it. I know he is he's
been tearing the
liked players, but
yeah,
he's been tearing the cover off the ball lately. I mean, he has
a 401 expected WOBA.
Also, he's batting 429 in June and has a very nice hitting streak going. So I think there's a very high likelihood Tatis does make it this year.
Yeah, I don't think Elliot Ramos is exactly the most popular player or exactly the most likely player to have 40 games before the All-Star break, get selected to the All-Star game like a Mike Trout in recent years. We saw this with Byron Buxton, who had a monster, half of a half and didn't get selected. But Mike Trout, who also had a monster half of a half, got selected with 36 games. So I don't know, but he'd be in my ballot right now than Tatis and Yelich as reserves.
Exactly. No, yeah, these are all honestly. I think that if any of us said that these were our three picks for the outfield in the National League going into the season, there would have been outright riots.
You could have seen, say, if you did this in January, you could have seen, okay, Mookie Betts, yep, Dodgers were good. Fernando Tatis for the Padres, good, and then Young-Hoo Lee for the Giants. Okay, you could have absolutely seen that, but you get Teoscar, who I guess Teoscar is not the most out of left field one. It's on the Dodgers too, so that you get that Dodger bump.
Yeah,
Tatis makes sense. Profar, wow, and Elliot Ramos, wow. The double, even Yelich is a wow. He's been like a good player, but he's back to sort of MVP light Yelich.
Almost, yeah.
It's really good to see. So let us know what you guys think about our All-Star picks. Are there any people that we just completely slept on? Do you guys think, no, what are you talking about? Tatis needs to be the outfield representative. Hey, no, let us know on Twitter at LAR_baseball.
Oh, wait, we forgot a name. Chris Taylor.
Oh.
Or Nick Castellanos. Pick one.
I'll pick to go to our next segment here, and that is going to be a short 3 words only segment here, as we had something happen over the last weekend that was honestly quite amazing, and that was the London series taking place here, as 2 very noteworthy teams, shall we say, got to play Major League Baseball. We had the first, I think this might actually be the first Major League games that were played in London in the last while. But
they've had a couple series. They had a Boston, New York series and a Cubs.
Oh, you're right. No,
Cubs cards.
That's right. My bad. Okay, I am sorry. That's my mistake on that one.
Come on, Alex.
Head in the game.
Dude, I got maybe 2 hours of sleep last night. Give me some rest.
Hey, more sleep than Pete Alonso got on the plane.
You're not wrong.
Probably.
Anyway, but so let's talk a little bit about this, and I mean talk a little bit about this, as it's time for 3 words only here, gentlemen. About this, the entire idea of the London series. what is a 3 words only that you want to bring up? Here, Splash, you look like you are raring to go, my friend.
Yes. Okay, here we go. My 3 words about the London series. Almost was rigged. If you watch baseball, you know in the clutch spots, sometimes the bozo hitters come up. Sometimes the Orlando Arcias, with all due respect to Gold Glove winner Orlando Arcia, future Gold Glove winner Orlando Arcia. Sometimes the pitcher comes up. Look at the Diamondbacks-Yankees game from a few months ago, Scott McGuff. Sometimes your number 8 hitter comes up. Sometimes the guy who's on a 1 for 25 comes up. Sometimes the lefty comes up to face another lefty and he sucks against lefties and you can't have any more pinch hitters. Then other times, in the most marquee game of the regular season, Bryce freaking Harper comes up with 2 men on with a chance to win the game. And it's like, this is how the world ends. This is how this game is going to end. I'm obviously not a Mets fan. I hate the Mets. But I just felt for all the Mets fans, like, really? You're going to travel across the pond and Bryce Harper is going to end your season. He hit a line drive into right field and made it a 1-run game. So he didn't end your season.
It was just this. Actually, I don't think a run scored on that play.
Oh, that's right. Because it was what was it an RBI hit by
6-4 at the
pitch?
shot.
Come on, head the game, Splash.
It was an RBI walk.
That's right. So Alex, respect me.
No,
So like this rope single, that's like if that was like 2 inches or 2 degrees higher, that ball's in like Afghanistan. That's definitely how geography works, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the stadium is oriented, but I felt like that game was almost rigged. But regardless, it's a great atmosphere. I like the trampoline turf in the outfield. I also like that in Mexico City. So more games in Mexico City, so outfielders can have PTSD. More games.
So
in London,
personally, I agree with you because when I saw 2 men on and Harper coming up, I was like, this is definitely scripted so that Harper hits the walk-off 3-run homer right here, just so MLB can post it on all of their social media apps.
Oh yeah, they've been
a decade straight, and it becomes like the. That being said,
quintessential Bryce Harper highlight.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
only if he hit it, if he was using his Philly Fanatic wearing the Buckingham Palace guard outfit, that ball goes 10,000 feet. I know that ball has not landed yet. But
I know, and like Drew Smith is a guy who gives up a lot of home runs. So I was like, he's about to literally hit this ball to Mars. But my 3 words, pretty simple. Run it back. Let's do this more often. I know that we're going back. MLB is going back to London in 2026, but I think it's great for the game. Really. First of all, shout out to Darren Fletcher, the British announcer who had an electric call on that last double play. By the way, that is the first time ever that a game has ended on a 2-3 double play. I love that statistic.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's awesome. I mean, they drew nearly 54,000 on Saturday and over 55,000 on Sunday. I think means baseball is becoming more of a global game, which is great. I think the UK really likes baseball, actually. You don't think of it as a baseball country, but I think it's sick. I look forward to seeing what MLB has in store going forward for these international games. I know there have been talks about me playing in Paris or in Germany potentially. I think keep bringing the game around the world the way the NFL has done with the games in Germany and Brazil and London. I think this is great.
So I agree. I think that this is fun. I don't know how you can say that any team around there is not a baseball. Any town out there is not a baseball town when they had the amazing Great Britain jerseys in the World Baseball Classic with the letters falling off. But I'm going to put a bit of a damper on this, and I'm sorry for that. My 3 words are not truly viable. And here's what I mean by it, because I think that this is so much fun for the game, and I think that it's really good to expand it more and more. Also, yeah, that bat is absolutely amazing.
And if you're wondering what Alex is talking about, please check out the YouTube, because we do have a video podcast associated with the audio podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And the video the picture that's showing right now is Bryce Harper with the Philly Fanatic bat that he had made for this, which was awesome. But one thing I want to say with this is that I'm really hoping that their idea with doing these is not to put a major league team over there, because if it is, I don't think that's viable. We already have enough trouble with teams that are like in the corners of the country having to travel a ton with it. And honestly, that's been one of the biggest vices for Seattle for years. Now imagine trying to put a team over in London. Try to put a team over that would make travel an absolute nightmare, I think, overall. Like, don't get me wrong, it would be fun, but I don't think it's truly feasible to have happen. For just like, one, maybe 2 series a year, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. But overall, it's fine. I do have a very brief other 3 words only for this, and that's just A's Expos guy. That was the funniest picture to me of the entire weekend, was this guy who came up, who was watching the game wearing, an Expos jersey and a A's hat? Something like that? It was absolutely beautiful. So. How did Brud get there? Why was Brud there? Absolutely beautiful. Also, the slide being shown right now.
Yeah, that was an interesting celebration. Yeah,
that was so good. I loved it.
Yeah,
for those of you
like you've been there
to the
before,
audio
Bryce.
podcast, go to the video one for a minute. That was awesome.
I do have so to Alex's point. I also hope they don't have a permanent team in London, but I do like having series in other places.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If it's,
I agree.
Okay, Mexico City, Puerto Rico, anywhere in the Americas, I'm cool with that being middle of the season. London, if it's for East Coast teams, I'm cool with that being in the middle of the season. If you're starting in Asia or Australia, that can't be middle of the season. That needs to be at the very start of the season. Absolutely.
I agree.
So if you're in
Seoul,
100%. You're in Tokyo, you're in Guangdong, you're in Sydney, you're Kabul, Afghanistan. Shout out Afghanistan for some reason.
Ni hao.
Start the season there.
I would actually love to see a series
a week ahead.
I know this is probably not going to happen ever, but I think it would be also be fun to see a series in Venezuela. I think with how much history is there. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because I know that they occasionally have done games in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yes, for Dominican Republic as well for spring training games. We need
Definitely.
it would have been cool if there was Tigers Braves in Venezuela, Miggy and Acuna and among others.
Yeah.
Curacao,
I know that
with all the Braves guys and the
Curacao,
Dodgers have had some guys.
I know that
Jerks and Profar.
I think the Cubs and Cards are supposed to begin the season in, I believe, Seoul next year. They're beginning. I know those 2 teams are beginning the year in Asia next year. I know, obviously, this past year, the Dodgers, the Dodgers and Padres began the year in Seoul. But I agree. I think, obviously, I'm fine with the midseason series, but I agree that if you're going to be, if you are going to begin the season elsewhere, it should probably
looks like it's Dodgers and Cubs.
Dodgers and Cubs. Okay, yeah.
That's gonna be.
I think that's gonna be fun though. I like that they're doing this though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree 100%.
So one question before we move on.
Yes.
I was listening to Effectively Wild, and they had someone call in and ask, why is it called a double play and not a double out? How do you feel if double plays and triple plays were called double outs and triple outs? Because technically they are double outs and triple outs. And while you could have a double play, like the shortstop tossing the ball to the second baseman who throws to the first baseman, sometimes it's an unassisted double play. So why wouldn't that be called a double out?
So, okay, I actually have an answer for this. Okay. And that is that single plays, single out plays, with it are more simple to go. Okay. You get to a pop out is an out, ground out is an out. Whereas to get multiple outs in a play is in a play at that point, it takes a lot more coordination. It takes a lot more to it usually. Mm-hmm. With that double play, and the thing is that it was a ground ball that the catcher fielded, touched the bag itself, and then threw it over to third for the play. Whereas say a ground ball to the shortstop throws to first, that's an out. Whereas a play is something that is much more it's at least more convoluted, shall I say. I understand the logic of what he's saying, but giving more precedence to plays that get multiple outs, I think is fine.
Okay. Thought I'd ask.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thought that was interesting. That was the base. It was one of the Patreons watches baseball, and they were watching with someone like a significant other who's not as big of a baseball fan, and they asked, "Oh, what a double out!" And the guy's like, "It's a double play, it's a double play, it's a double play," but he didn't because he's being respectful.
I mean, no. To be fair, honestly, like, I mean, the logic checks out though.
Yeah.
It is 2 outs. On the play. Yeah.
No, a triple out.
But I think a triple play just sounds so much better than a triple out, though. 100%. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about the London series. Here, let us know on Twitter at LAR_baseball. Here, let us know. Do you think they should have a team in London? Do you think that we should be having more series over there? Should we relocate Detroit over to London? No.
Whoa.
I just read it to you.
Whoa. These aren't the Jaguars.
Wow.
Whoa, we will put the White Sox over there. Put the White Sox over there.
I should have said the White Sox. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Put the Seattle Mariners.
I was about to say, like, definitely there's a team over there that's been perennially disappointing.
You could put the Mariners in Japan.
Braves, the Barves, something like that. They can go to
London. I've heard
put
of
them in like Saskatchewan, please.
Anyway, we're going to move on here to a new segment here that I said at the beginning. I am now the voice of the Boulder Collegians, and I want to bring some attention to these young kids. And I say kids, they're in college. But the Collegians is a summer wood bat league here from players from all around the country as well. And I want to just spend a couple minutes like giving some highlights about some of these players here that you guys will see as big stars going forward here. There's a few names I want to bring up here. I'm going to keep the first one short. And I think we're just going to keep it short, just to kind of introduce some of the main key names here. The first one I have to bring up because he just had one of the coolest days here is left-handed pitcher and outfielder out of Brighton, Colorado, Metro State University, Alex Martinez, who in his last game, so the Collegians play all doubleheaders. They do 7-inning doubleheaders every day that they play, which they are not playing again until Wednesday. That's fine. I'm actually going to their practice later on after the podcast. But Alex Martinez in the last game here playing up against the Colorado Springs Cutthroats. Pitched in the first game, it did very well in that game. In fact, if I get up the exact notes for that game, here, I have them right here. Yeah, in that first game pitching, he went 2 2/3, did give up 5 hits, but only one earned run, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. And then in the second game was out in left field playing and had the team's first homer of the season, launching a ball 360 feet to right field, scoring 3 runs in the game. He is a really fun two-way player to watch here. Other fun players I really like here and I think are going to become really big names. The big one that I really want to highlight here, I'm just getting to make sure I have the right information on him here, and that is River Jackson. Is his name here out of Greeley, Colorado, San Joaquin Delta College here. He is a menace on the base paths here. There has only been 1 game so far where he did not log a stolen base, and that was because he did not get on base in that game. Whenever he gets on base, it is about a 95% chance that he will at least try to steal second base and will succeed at it. In the first game of the season, he stole 5 bases in 1 game. 5 bases in 1 game is incredible. The speed that he has, it feels like every time when the catcher throws down, he's already at the bag. He has great base running awareness. He knows how to take a walk or a hit by pitch and turn it into a triple. Like, that's how good he is on the base paths. Other guys I love bringing up here, Steven Lukasevich here has been a catcher infielder with a great bat on his shoulders. He is out of Azusa Pacific University here in Centennial, Colorado. Isaac Sobieschek has been absolutely on fire as of late. Like in his last game, with 1 for 3 with a run scored, and then the game before that for Sobieschek, 1 for 2, 2 runs scored and an RBI. Like the dude finds way to get on base and drive in runs. Not even necessarily to hit mammoth homers, but he gets on base and he drives people in. On the pitching side of things, there are some really, really fun names to watch out for here. Nolan Archuleta in the last game here went 5 complete innings, only giving up 2 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts here in this kind of league is really, really impressive here. Oh, one more player I want to go on the offensive side of things. Diego Castellanos is a mammoth of a human being. He just demolishes baseballs out of St. Mary's College of California. Chase Hildy plays amazing defense over at second base. TJ Newman as a pitcher. He came in relief of one game. And this is one thing I find, and I feel so bad for because he technically got the loss in this game here. But against the Fort Collins Foxes, he pitched coming in this. He pitched 4 2/3 innings after the previous guys had given up 13 runs. He comes in, pitches 4 innings completely clean. Absolutely beautiful to watch here. And after that, he does end up getting the losses. He gave up 2 runs in the final bit there, and that was all that they needed. As Boulder was able to come back and tied it up at 13-13, which was also an amazing achievement on there as well. There are some amazing players on this as well. One of the guys I want to talk about, Zach White. First time he came up to pitch for the team, he was absolutely lights out. That game ended 1-0, and that 1 run is all that he needed. He went 4 innings scoreless, giving up just 1 hit, walking none, and striking out 6 in a ballpark that was very, very small. Denver Christian School, where they're playing at, very small. And yet he was able to keep the ball from barely getting into the outfield. These kids are good. I plan on giving you guys more updates as the weeks go on. These players are ones to watch out for. And when you see them in college, there's reasons why they're making names. But I want to thank you guys for letting me have that time here. We'll be talking more about them over the course of the weeks here. But now it is time for everyone's favorite segment. It's now time for trivia, and Mac, my main man, you have it ready for today, so I hand the reins to you.
All right, so I figured since we discussed the All-Star Game ballots, we would run back a segment that I believe I ran last year, and maybe we'll run this back one more time before the All-Star Game this year. But we're going to do Name That One-Time All-Star. I have nine players. And I feel like these guys aren't that obscure, and I'll keep you guys on your toes. Some of these guys are active, so
okay.
It's not like I'm gonna pull up random names from like the 1950s or something that
the
even
Negro
I haven't
League
heard
All-Star
of.
teams. That
is like I'm not going to like bring back.
Give me an idea there. I'm going to troll all of you very hard next week. Be prepared.
Oh God.
Dan, I think I'm feeling sick. Oh no.
So here I have players. I have 9 players. We're gonna do this Family Feud style where you buzz in, or sort of Family Feud style though. Yeah. So you buzz in, and we'll go first to 3.
So what do we have to do again?
So I'm gonna give you the year that the guy made the All-Star Game, and then I'm gonna start reading out clues. And once you think you got it, you buzz in.
All right. My buzzer sound is gonna be.
All right, perfect. Splash, do you have a buzzer sound?
You gotta make a sound.
All right. You gotta be quicker than that. Okay. Also, we're gonna go by which one I hear first, by the way, to avoid any confusion. Like we've run it. Okay, perfect. All right.
Yeah.
You guys ready? Sure. Do you guys understand this? Any questions?
Yep,
no, ahead, I think so we have to name the player, right?
Yes, you have to name the player. Okay.
If we get it wrong, does the other person get a point?
No, the other player gets a chance to name the player, though.
Okay.
Cool. And no bonus points for buzzing in early?
No.
Okay, cool.
All right, we ready?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, let's go with player number 1, who made his lone All-Star Game appearance in 2018 as a member of the Toronto Blue Jays. He was a third-round pick by... Yeah, you got it?
Justin Smoke?
No, it is not Justin Smoke. Splash, all right, do you have the name, or should I read off some more hints?
Feel free to keep reading, pal.
All right.
No, I thought like he gets like 2 more clues. He gets 2 more clues.
Yeah, all right. So here's... Okay. Well, I'll give you the 2 most obvious ones, I think. He was the third-round pick by the Phillies in 2004. And he won 20 games in 2016, finishing 6th in the Cy Young voting. That was not the year he made the All-Star game, but in 2016, he won 20 games. Splash, do you have an answer? Yep.
J.A. Happ?
That is correct. J.A. Happ is the answer.
Okay, let's cook. Let's go.
I was going to say, he also was traded for Roy Oswalt back in 2010. And he also recorded the final 3 outs of the 2018 All-Star game. So Splash up early. We'll go, since there's 9 players, we'll go first to 5. All right, guys?
Okay.
Works for
All
me.
right. So the next player made his lone All-Star game appearance in 2021 for the Milwaukee Brewers. He was signed as an international free agent by the Rays in 2008, but was eventually swiped away by the White Sox in the Rule 5 draft. He hit a home run in his only All-Star game appearance, but he was recently designated for assignment by the Mets in the middle. Yep. Who do you got, Splash?
Is this Omar Narvaez?
That's correct. That is Omar Narvaez, former Mariner, former Met.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, some of these guys are active, so keep that in mind. All right, let's move on. Splash is currently batting 1,000. This player made his only All-Star game appearance for the 2022 Oakland A's. He was originally a first-round pick by the Cubs, though, in 2012, but was traded by the Cubs with Daniel Vogelbach to the Mariners for World Series hero Mike Montgomery. In his major league career, though, he's only played for one team. He's only played for the Oakland A's. Players, who is this one-time All-Star? Yeah, Alex?
Is this Paul Blackburn?
Yes, it is Paul Blackburn.
Wow.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sure everyone remembers him as a Seattle Mariner farmhand.
Oh, 100%. Yep.
He was sent to Oakland in a minor deal. It was an exchange of minor leaguers. So let's move on to this one. His only All-Star game appearance was for the 2007 Boston Red Sox. Signed as a free agent with Boston in November of 2006 and finished 6th in Rookie of the Year voting in 2007. Had a 2.11 career ERA in the postseason, including when he won the World Series in 2007. And I think the one that is a dead giveaway, he had a very unique pitching delivery where he looked at the ground. Yep, Alex. What's his name?
Shoot. You said look at the ground.
He would look down at the ground when he released the ball.
Oh no. Is that Okajima?
Yes, it is Hideki Okajima.
Let's go.
And
when you said unique delivery, I was about to say Daisuke. And
you would believe it, Daisuke never made an All-Star game.
That surprisingly doesn't surprise me.
Unfortunately, walked too many batters. But yes, Hideki Okajima, 2007 World Series champion. He was really good in 2007. Let's move on to our next one. And, this one, there aren't as many hints about him, but he's a bit of a success story, I would say. He made his only All-Star game appearance in 2016 for the Orioles. He was a 42nd round pick originally, though, by the Padres in 2008. He was eventually flipped to Baltimore in 2013. He played for both the Mets and the Braves later in his career, and he's from New Jersey, went to Monmouth University in Long Branch. Guys, who is this?
I don't have a Blues clue right now.
All right, Splash.
Chris Tillman?
It is not Chris Tillman. He did not play for the Mets or Braves.
Okay.
Chris Tillman only played for the Orioles. Tough. Alex.
I mean, Chris Davis. I don't know.
It is not Chris Davis.
Is it a relief pitcher?
Right. Yes, it is a relief pitcher.
Brad Hand comes to mind, and Brandon Brock.
I mean, I'm gonna have a tough time ruling here because Splash got the lap. Yeah,
I'm not gonna get a
so
point
we're gonna. This is gonna be a wash here, I think. His name is Brad Brock.
Yeah. No, they're both Brad. Okay.
Yeah, it's Brad Brock. He was the setup man for Zach Britton the year he was Mr. Unhittable, but did not pitch in the wild card game. So,
Of course,
we're going to
that doesn't make too much sense.
We're going to do so. That's going to be a wash there.
We're tied at
2-2 going into player number 6. This guy made his only All-Star game appearance for the 2011 Seattle Mariners. He's originally from Hawaii, was a second-round pick by the Blue Jays in 2001, traded to Seattle in 2009 for Brandon Morrow. He saved 37 games as a Mariner in 2011. Yep, Alex, I figure you would know this.
That's Brandon League?
Yes, it is Brandon League.
Let's go.
Man.
Alex takes a 3-2 lead here. That was, yes, Brandon League is also responsible for the outcome of the only game I've been to in Cleveland when he the Cleveland blew the lead, and before I could even get out, Brandon League had given up a 3-run homer to Shin-Soo Choo. It was, yeah. So
legendary.
All right, moving on. Alex is in the lead. This player made his only All-Star game appearance for the 2021 Angels. He was a 39th round pick out of the University of Georgia in 2015. He hit 29 homers with an 850 OPS in 2021. He also got some down ballot Rookie of the Year votes in 2020. Currently, though, he's on the Charlotte Knights, which is the Chicago White Sox AAA team. So, unfortunately, that's where his career has gone. Guys, who is this one-time All-Star? He's an active player, technically. He was in the majors earlier this year, but not with the White Sox or the Angels.
Okay.
So 2021 All-Star with the Angels?
For the Angels.
Where was that All-Star game at again?
Denver.
That was a Denver one? Okay.
Screw you, Major League Baseball. It's obligatory.
Yeah. I could. Here's the thing. Right now, my strategy is I'm thinking of MLB The Show cards when they did their.
Yeah,
All-Star
exactly.
program.
You're
that's
on the
strategy.
right path here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think who was the representative from the Angels. There,
It's technically one of 3 guys who made it. One of them was Mike Trout. Obviously, that's not the answer here. But he was hurt.
My first name that's going to mind, it can't be him because I'm pretty sure he's still on the Angels.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, the Angels, known for their really good outfielders.
Splash, do you have an answer here? Or
I am thinking really hard.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So 2021 Angels is now in the White Sox system.
Yes.
But so it's not him because he's an active Angel. It's not him.
You guys want the position that he plays. He's a corner infielder by trade, but in the All-Star game he put. Yep.
Jared Walsh.
Flash. It is Jared Walsh.
Thank you.
Okay.
I thought the entire time it was an outfielder, so I'm like, totally confused.
So here's the thing. Mm-hmm. He's a first baseman, but in the All-Star game he played left field for the first time in his career.
Okay.
So yeah.
Also fun, his MLB The Show card at that time could also pitch.
Yes, that's right.
Fun times.
Wow, you guys are even. Season. You guys are even through 7. Let's go to the next one. This man made his only All-Star game appearance for the 2011 New York Yankees. 17th round pick in 2006 from Alabama, went to the University of Alabama. He's an active player. He has 891 career appearances, has 1,095 career strikeouts. Splash.
David Robertson?
That is correct. It is David Robertson.
Let's go.
So Splash has a 4-3 lead. He could seal it right here with this last player. Yes, great call there. David Robertson got MVP votes in 2011, by the way. He struck out 100 batters. He was nasty as the setup man and eventually the successor.
MVP votes, but okay. Sure thing.
He was the successor. He was also the setup man for Mariano Rivera. Mets legend, by the way, David Robertson.
Marlins legend. Phillies
all
legend.
Right, so Splash could close this out here. This player made his only All-Star game appearance for the 2010 Baltimore Orioles. Terrible team. They lost over 100 games. He was a 17th round pick by the Mets out of UNC in 1998, traded by the Mets with Jose Bautista to Pittsburgh in 2004 for Chris Benson and Jeff Keppinger, clearing room for David Wright to be the everyday third baseman in New York. He played for 8 different teams throughout his career. Splash.
Melvin Mora.
Nope, it is not Melvin Mora. Alex, your chance to steal.
Do I get the extra 2 clues afterwards, or?
I gave all 3 clues. I'll say this much. He was kind of a utility guy, played the infield, also played the outfield. I think he made it technically as an outfielder, but he was also a first baseman.
Okay. This is tough. Only one All-Star, third baseman, and outfielder.
I'm trying to see if I. No, it is not Aubrey Huff. Aubrey Huff never made an All-Star game.
Good.
Ryan
So, who was it?
It was Ty Wigginton.
Oh,
Yeah, I would not have
Astros
gotten it.
legend, Phillies legend. That's tough.
Yeah, so Wigginton, eight career teams in 12 years: Mets, Devil Rays, Pirates, Astros, Orioles, Rockies, Phillies, and Cardinals. So yeah, look, the 2010 Orioles were not particularly good.
No.
Wigginton had a 98 OPS plus that year, but he made the All-Star game. So, anyways, I guess this means Splash wins because it was 4-3. Very good effort, guys. I think that
Bang bang. GG,
I
boys,
did have
GGs.
a tiebreaker getting ready, but I don't think this is necessary today. So
Feel free
thank
to
you for
ask
letting me
again.
host that.
Yeah, feel free to ask.
Okay, I'll give you the year, the team, and the first clue I have, which is that he made it for the 2009 Tigers. He was born in Germany and played for a major league record 14
Oh,
teams.
Edwin Jackson.
And it is Edwin Jackson.
Nice.
Yes, Edwin Jackson, in addition to that record number of teams he played for, also made an All-Star game.
Also born in Germany.
Yes, born in Germany, went to high school in Columbus, Georgia.
Yes.
But yes.
I did a whole project on him in college.
Very nice.
Yeah, no, he was quite the vagabond. But
Also threw a
thank you
no-hitter
for letting
with
me do that.
approximately 7 million pitches.
Yep, I believe he was close to 150.
Yeah, I think 149 if memory serves.
Yeah, 149. Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations, Splash. Good job on the win. Good win on that one. It was a good game. But now it's time for our final segment of the podcast, as we like to end every podcast here with a moment to ourselves, where we don't have to. We can talk about anything we want. It does not have to be baseball related, but it absolutely can be. Who would like to go first on today's one? Splash, I saw your hand first. I'm getting my timer ready here. If you are ready to go, your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
All right, we have 3 simple things. First, cut losers out of your life. They don't need to be in your life anymore. Full stop. Number 2, I'm sad that I've been sick for the last week. It's a shame because I would have uploaded some stuff to our YouTube, which makes me very sad. Number 3, the Braves suck.
Wow, short and to the point there.
I was about to say, yeah, geez, 23 seconds.
23 New record.
Seconds. You know what? I gotta say at that point, short and sweet to the point. I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, would you like to go? Want me to go?
You can go. I'm still thinking.
Sounds good. All right, my time begins in 3, 2, 1. I am so happy I am getting to call baseball again. When I got the email that I was selected to be their broadcaster, I was overcome with joy. And when I finally got out there and I called the first pitch I could, I was back in my elements. There are times that people just find out where they're supposed to be. And guys, audience, everyone, I refound where I was supposed to be. Calling games, I felt so comfortable. I felt so good. And being able to do this at a level that people respect and want to listen to really overfills my heart with joy. So thank you again to the Boulder Collegians for giving me this opportunity. and I'm going to make sure that I am the best investment that they've ever made. All right. Mac, you ready to go?
Stuff there, Alex.
Yep.
What's up?
Powerful stuff there, Alex.
Thank you, boss. Appreciate you. All right, Mac, you ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Yeah, so not to keep ragging on this topic since I know we've talked about it a lot today, but just wanted to say a few words about All-Star voting. I think it's great that they let fans participate. I just want to say, don't take it too seriously. If you see weird results, like the Royals having 7 starters listed, it's just because their fans go out and vote. So I encourage you all to vote for your favorite players. I know that there was one year where Brad Emis was listed as the Mets' second baseman. He was a Rule 5 draft pick. He was not on the roster by the time the All-Star ballots came out. I believe there was one year Daniel Murphy was listed as the first baseman. He tore his MCL in spring training. So if you want to have fun with it, have fun with it. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I also kind of miss having the punch cards, where you punch the hole in. That's how you voted. I kind of miss having those. I'm not going to lie. I miss going to games and just stuffing the ballots with random players so that you could win prizes. I won a prize one year when it was at Citi Field. So the point is, get out, vote for your favorite players. If you want to have fun with it, have fun with it. If you want to vote for just the best players, I'm not going to stop you.
Major League Baseball, please let me vote for Ronald Acuna, because you can vote for Mike Trout. You can vote for guys who have played 8 games. Let me vote for the guy who's played 49 games.
I will say my favorite ever promotion when it came for All-Star voting came with Seattle, where before this game or whatever, they played All-Star by Smash Mouth on repeat until they had a certain number of votes cast here, and it was absolutely hilarious. And they're like, All-Stars vote, and once we reach 0, the music will finally stop. And it was absolutely brilliant. Anyway,
great song, by the way.
I have one more thing.
Yes.
One more very important thing. There's one player we did not mention today who we all should be voting for. That is all of the 3 of us. That is everyone that has ever watched baseball. You know the name. You know the man. You know the man. Why isn't it loading? Oh, here it is. Vote for Martin Maldonado. And look at
how did I know that's who you were going to say?
I knew you were going to bring up Maldonado.
Eventually, his stats will load if you're watching the podcast. Martin Maldonado should be an all-star. You can see he has 99 at-bats, only 7 hits. That is a batting average below the legal blood alcohol level. I don't drink, so I wouldn't know. A 235 OPS, that's pretty good. That would be a good batting average in modern baseball. He's hit 1 home run. That's more than I've hit. So I hereby declare that Martin Maldonado is not only my all-star catcher, but my MVP one. He is the biggest reason why the White Sox are the best team in baseball at losing. In his last 15 games, he has 1 hit for a 0.22 batting average and an 0.22
That's pretty good, man.
That's solid.
Yeah. So vote for Martin Maldonado, please. Make me happy. Thank you. If I can't vote for Ronald Acuna, I will be sure voting for Martin Maldonado.
Fair enough at that point. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here today at Losses Above Replacement. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you go follow us on Twitter at LAR_baseball. You can also follow all of us individually. You can follow me at the Sports Guy 242. You can go follow Mac at Mathias_A_K. You can go follow Splash at Mr. Splashman 19. But from all of us here at Losses Above Replacement, I want to thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I hope to see you all real soon.